Today, I invite you to a little escapade with me to discover a little medieval town 1 hour away from my city, near the center of France. It is called Saint-Bonnet-Le-Château, and I went there a few days ago because it was a bank holiday here in France with a friend to discover the village and to see the brocante which was supposed to happen and take place that day, and to see a few other things. It was a beautiful discovery to wander in the empty, tiny cobbled streets. Though the weather was very rainy and very cold that day, it was a reason maybe why it was so empty. It's hung at the top of a hill at 1,000 meters high, surrounded by hills and very green valleys. I climbed here on these doorsteps just to show you how short and small the doors are. To enter this building you would have to be my size or smaller, and I'm 163 meters, so I'm not very tall, and someone much taller couldn't enter these buildings. This little town is usually more touristy in summer, but not at all like all the villages and beautiful towns from the south of France, which are packed with tourists and tourist shops and Airbnb and all these things which have ruined so many places and which also made the locals have to leave because they can't afford to live in these places anymore, which I think is an absolute tragedy. And here it's not like that. It's only real local people who live there, who live in these beautiful houses. It's not hotels and all these things. There are 1 or 2 beautiful guest house, but that's all. There's just 1 or 2 or 3 and that's it. And the rest, it's normal people who live there all year long, so it makes this place even more precious for me. The brocante was very disappointing because of the cold weather. Most of the vendors and sellers have left in the morning or during the day, and there were not a lot of them. But there was this booth with a lot of quills, inkwells. And the Collegiale, the church built at the top of the town, is from the 14th century. And there is also something I really wanted to see in this little town, little medieval town. It's the corpses or the mummies, the bodies which had been found at the middle of the 19th century in a crypt under the church. And if you are a little disturbed by corpses or dead bodies or that, Don't watch the upcoming minutes of the video because maybe you will not like that. I know these sort of things are not for everyone, so if it's not your cup of tea, you can leave the video, but if you like these sort of things, you're going to have something interesting to see. So they found at the middle of the 19th century these bodies, 30 bodies, very well preserved, so not like bones only and all that, but they had still their outfit on them, they had some skin, you can not exactly recognize their face, but there was some flesh on them, and it was an absolute mystery. And to this day, it is still a mystery. There are a lot of theories on what would have happened to these 30 bodies. They are all around between 18 and 25 years old, and they have been dated from the mid-17th century. So they're not super old, they were just like normal people who lived in the 17th century, and something happened to them and they have been put in this place under the church. And since then there had been all sorts of theory. Maybe some people thought they had caught the plague, or there was some religious reason behind it, and they all died of violent death with some knives and some weapons, some sort of things, and it shows in different parts of their body still when they have some bit of flesh preserved or something like that, or their bones have been broken. So it was very, very mysterious and interesting to know more about that. And they came with the solution that very likely there were travelers, rich travelers, stopping in this town because there were a lot of business and merchants, and it was a pretty wealthy place where a lot of things happened for the trade and all that in the 17th century. And very likely they had been robbed and murdered by some not very nice people. So that's the only theory they agree on right now. They didn't catch the plague, it's nothing like that. They have been murdered. And you can see the main body that we see under the glass. He seemed to have suffered a lot. So it's quite moving, and it's quite very sad, of course, to see what remains of all these people. And there is even a giant who is 2 meters and 10 centimeters among these 30 bodies. Until 2010, you could go under the church and see them, and you couldn't touch them, of course, but you could be very, very close. And the reason they have been preserved like that, the bodies which have been very well preserved, is because of the chemical specificity of this place, which has a lot of arsenic and 1 or 2 other things, which make the body age really, really, really less fast than they would otherwise. I came back from Saint-Bonnet-Le-Château with a little quill for my writing, because I like to write. I never have enough of those, and this one is in wood. It comes from the gentleman who was selling all these writing accessories and all these things. And fortunately, he comes in my town quite often, and he will be back this fall in the brocante we have once a month in a square here in the city, which I often miss because it's on Saturday, one Saturday morning every month, and often I'm not there to go. But I will really be sure to go this fall to catch more of these little accessories. I also wanted to say, so this village, Saint-Bonnet-Le-Château, is not very far from Issoire, which is another place in this part of France, which I already filmed last year because the exhibition Magie Baroque started in two castles next to Issoire, and I was there for the opening. I created some pieces for this exhibition organized by le Centre des Monuments Nationaux, and now there is a new exhibition I also did a piece for, which right now is in these two castles, is going to start or is already there. If you are traveling in France this summer for all the exhibition where I collaborated with, if you want to see some of those. And right now at le Château de Villeneuve-Lembron and le Château de Parentignat, last year there was Magie Baroque, and I did a lot of videos about this exhibition and about Issoire when I went there, the opening, all that. And right now they have le CHANT, another exhibition I collaborated with, which is right now also in these two castles. So if you want to see the Baroque opera and Mélusine, which I created for this exhibition, you can go there, and I will put the dates, the website links if you are interested. And if you go to Paris this summer, at le Château de Maisons at Maisons Lafitte, which is super easy to go from Paris with public transport, it's 20 minutes away. With the Parisian train, it's super easy and convenient to go. There is Magie Baroque, which was in these two other castles last summer. And right now it's going to be for the entire summer at le Château de Maisons at Maisons Lafitte, which is a beautiful castle, and I filmed it also last November. If you have watched my video about Beauty and the Beast, when I was just there for fun, just to see this fun show that took place at le Château de Maisons. And Fantaisies pour un Palais, the first exhibition I collaborated with, where I did big Baroque boat ship, is at l'Abbatiale de Lunéville in the northeast of France. So it's a very beautiful place too. And if you are more in the east of France, in Germany, Belgium, you can totally go. It's not very far and it's very beautiful too. So all the information, links, website and dates will be just under this video if you are interested and if you like visiting beautiful places and having fun exhibitions to see too. Hopefully the weather where you are is a little warmer and more sunny than here. We have the darkest May we ever had, I think. It's not super cold right now, but it was cold when I was at Saint-Bonnet-Le-Château. You see me with my coat and scarves and everything, but it was really cold and windy and rainy, a total winter weather. So it's still a bit the case, it's still very grey and dark, and I quite like it because it's not the heat at least. But I have to admit it's pretty gloomy and it's a total November weather right now. So hopefully it's not the case where you are. And I thank you for those who encourage me and put nice messages under my last video about my Big White Cat project. Thank you very much for your warm and super encouraging messages. They are very appreciated, and yes, they encourage me a lot. I will share the progress on this project as I go in the next month. Thank you, and I will see you very soon.